Hi, and welcome to tonight's version of Naked Talk. I'm Elizabeth Wood.
And I'm Dan Powers with Beyond the Bedroom.
Naked Talk is where we get naked in a conversation of sexuality, intimacy, and relationship. We strip down and expose the bare facts so that you can learn what it takes for your love to thrive.
So we're really excited to be here tonight. It's the first episode of the new year, and we kind of took a little bit of December off to really kind of get our ducks in order, and we really didn't do that so well. But we are here again, and we've changed our format a little bit. Where it used to be an hour-long show, we're moving to more of a 30-minute kind of show. And so we hope you like it. We hope people are going to respond to this, so we'll see.
We figure Power Packed is might keep everybody's attention a little bit longer. So today we're going to be talking about intention and resolution, and actually how quite odd I think that is. So I did some statistics, and I'm going to put the glasses on, I'm going to read a few. So this was based on a study of Americans, and 45% of us actually go ahead and make New Year's resolutions. Of those 45%, only 8% are successful in meeting whatever resolution or intent they set for themselves.
Right, we hear all the time people talking about, well, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to be better lover with my husband or wife.
And they put a number to that. 31% of those making resolutions actually made them based on some type of relationship intent that they had. And that's definitely what interested Dan and I. But I want to keep going with my stats. Of those 8%, 46% of us keep going with those resolutions for 6 months or more. So in a random sample of 100 people, okay, 8% of that is 8 people. 46% of that actually equates to roughly 3.6 out of every 100 people are still holding strong with their resolutions after 6 months. So what I found sort of interesting and was that the word intention is in there and the word resolution is in there. So I dove a little bit deeper to find out what the meaning of those words are. So intention means I intend to do something. I'm going to do something. I'm actually planning or potentially going out of my way. And I want everybody to keep their focus on the fact that 31% of those in the survey or in the study said that their intentions and resolutions were based on relationship. So,
which is not a bad thing, but
no, it's not a bad thing. But let's be honest. Like 31% of us are intending to do something different in our relationships, or going out of our way to perhaps. I would assume that they're going to look to improve or do something better on that one day of the year. And with those numbers that fail, I looked further. Resolution is we're going to resolve something. We're going to be determined, like that weight loss goal. We're going to be determined. We're going to deal with it, resolve, and then solve something that might be going on. So what Dan and I were looking at was what can we do to help our audience, our audience, learn a different strategy that potentially could be more successful than roughly 3.6 out of every 100 Americans who might make it past that 6-month goal. Another thing that I thought was interesting is, why are we only working hard on our relationships at the dawn of a new year, at whatever holiday tradition you celebrate, New Year's Eve, anniversaries, birthdays, Valentine's Days? Why are we choosing only those particular periods throughout the year to actually make good on our relationship?
Well, and there was a stat in there too about how many people just in general make New Year's resolutions on the new year.
That's my 45% of Americans make them.
Make a resolution. Okay, good. Yeah, and one of the things for me is I don't typically like making resolutions anyway. When something comes up that I realize that I want to change and focus on, I make that resolution right then and there. And I understand the beginning of the new year is a way for people to kind of pick a moment in time to do something like that. But I think that if something's not working, you should work on it immediately.
Yeah, and the new year is a time where most people make and set goals. It's like, but that's shocking to me that people have to make or set a goal to be better in relationship. So we're going to talk about some strategies that we might be able to employ every day. Most of the studies that come out in terms of the most successful couples in relationship are based on things that we practice. If not daily, we're certainly aware, and we make these, they're not even attempts, we make strides to do this on a very, very frequent basis. So Dan and I have talked a lot about this particular researcher. His name is John Gottman, Gottman, and he's actually been studying what helps determine from actually a scientific point of view, could he find something that determined who would be more successful in relationship than another couple that wasn't. And there's actually a 5-to-1 ratio of the more positive we are in terms of the attributes that we see in our partner or that we express to our partner, it's a 5-to-1 ratio that he saw in couples who reported long-term happiness and success. And to us, that would be couples that are thriving.
Right, and actually in that study, I believe what they did is they assessed these couples at one point in time, and then they caught up with them 6 years later and saw what they were doing. And from that, he was pretty accurately able to describe or estimate if they were going to be together or other couples were going to be together in the future based on the way they respond to their partner. So if somebody, for example, walks into the room and wants their attention, says, "Hey, did you see the sunrise? Isn't this beautiful?" And the partner ignores them or does, "Yeah, I don't care," or "Oh yeah," or makes a negative comment as well, then that was one of the indicators that said that these people are not going to be together in the future.
So what Gottman actually calls that is a bid for attention, a bid for intimacy. So let's just pretend it's you and I, and Dan comes in and he notices that there's a beautiful sunset, and "Oh, yeah, I've seen them all," or "Don't, you're interrupting me."
I'm watching TV or I'm texting on my phone.
Yeah, I'm not responding positively to him, to that bid for connection or intimacy. And what they found was those couples that they responded more positively, like, "Oh,"
They turn towards
each other, like, "Oh, let me go see it. Hold on, I'll be right there. Oh, shoot, did I miss it?" Anything like that, those were positive, sort of leaning in to the
relationship itself.
Yeah, the relationship itself. So the study showed that that's actually what couples were doing, and that was a measure of success. So hold on. Let me tell you a little bit more about John Gottman and his wife Julie. Julie's a psychologist also. They're from New York City, and they're the renowned relationship experts on marital stability, and they run the Gottman Institute. Anyway, we agree with so much of what they do in terms of helping couples build and maintain healthy and loving relationships. So what they also showed that all of these different things created a level of intimacy and trust and a bond between the pair. Actually, it's all really pretty much about comfort, like comfort in the relationship. If I continue to bid for Dan's attention or intimacy and I keep getting rebuffed, I'm going to move away from that relationship, and over time it's going to cause resentment and harm.
Yeah, and we're not saying that somebody comes in and you're in the middle of working and they come in and they want your attention, that they're going to take that attention for the whole time. Excuse me. It's really just little simple quick blurbs of, "Hey, come check this out. I want to share something with you." And it's the two of you sharing something together that is causing that more intimate connection with each other versus somebody that walks in and they're just completely ignored or they're rebuffed, then who's going to want to stay in a relationship like that? The more negative feedback we get, we typically will walk away in favor of the feedback that's a more positive kind of thing. One of the things they say is you get catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar.
Yeah, that's
Something
absolutely,
like that.
yeah, well, that's a good one. So they actually put a number to this as well. Those couples that they studied, those that were successful over time, 87% of the time, one or the other partner responded to that bid for intimacy or connection, they called it a bid, or that request for intimacy, 87% of the time. They found that those couples that actually broke apart or were just surviving, that's another word we often use, that were just surviving in their relationships, they only were positively connecting to their partner's bid 33% of the time. So it's actually quite a difference.
Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty simple thing to do. If your partner comes in and, one of the things I would say is also if your partner's heads down into something that requires a lot of concentration, that really does break into thought process. It's really difficult
It does for the men. I do it a lot.
Yeah.
Make sure you're not interrupting him.
Yeah, because it takes out when you're really focused like that. I've seen some statistics that say it takes 15 to 20 minutes for a person to really get back into that zone of concentration of what it was that they were doing.
Especially if they're men. Us women, we're more of the multitaskers, aren't we, ladies? But nonetheless, it's really important to, if you're going to make a request for that intimacy, or what Gottman calls a bid, make sure your partner isn't diving deep into your taxes or about to make a really important phone call to someone. Pay attention to where he or she is at. That's actually a really good point, too. And Dan earlier said that it's about sharing news or information with your partner. It was actually something that they also noted, that when your partner comes in to share good news, how do you respond to that good news? Like, oh, hey, you wouldn't believe what just happened to me at work. Yeah, I'm busy. Or, what? That's not a good way to respond. Or, well, why don't you tell me what happened to you, and then I'll tell you what happened to me. Those types of responses weren't good for the long-term health of the relationship either. So when our partner comes in with good news, do we help them celebrate it? Are we neutral? Or, oh my goodness, are we passive-aggressive and actually more negative toward them? That actually was an indicator of long-term success.
Yeah, and it doesn't really have to be something that you're super excited about. Like, I'll come in, this happened recently, we got a 12-inch dump of snow on the hill, and
Honey.
I know that she doesn't really care about that, but I came in, I was really excited, and she shared that excitement with me. So it was really
Oh yeah, okay,
valuable.
so I'll tell you what he did, people. He stuck a ruler in the snow bank that was on our, on the banister. And I was like, what a mad scientist. He's nuts. Of course, he would go out there and stick a ruler in it. But what I did was, I know how excited he gets about, I thought you were going to say something negative. But I'm glad I won on this one. It was one of my more positive responses. I leaned in. So what I did was, I celebrated with him because he's a big skier. But I also then went ahead and had a little fun myself, and I posted it on Facebook, because that's like his geeky snow guy coming out. And we actually had a lot of fun around that. So that's a good thing in terms of the long-term health of our relationship.
Well, and it also helps to listen, because that actually wasn't what I was talking about.
What were you
I was
saying?
talking about the 12 inches that we got up in the mountains. That one with the ruler was only the 8-inch thing.
Oh. Okay, just pay attention. Be alert to which story he's sharing. But yes, I was excited about that too, because he had a great ski day. So, lastly, let's talk about just simple kindness in relationship and how potent that can be. We don't often think, in relationship, when there's like day-to-day things going on and the laundry and the phone calls and the bills, we actually aren't always that kind to our partner. Yet, invite a third person in, let's just say your mother or mother-in-law were visiting, and you are so kind to her, you're so kind to your partner when somebody else is around. Why do we not do more of that? Because the kindness that is expressed between partners in relationship is yet a third indication of their long-term health, longevity, and the thrivability, if that's a word. So simple acts of kindness, simple words of kindness. Again, it might go back to that 5-to-1 ratio. If you're going to say something negative, like you're upset that he doesn't put the toilet seat down, instead of saying, you never do this. I mean, maybe you could say, you know what, it's now twice in the middle of the night in the dark that I went in to use the toilet and I fell in. You say, so I would really appreciate it if you just spent a little bit more thought. It's also in the way, it's that you catch more flies with honey. What did you say?
Catch more flies with
Catch
honey
more
than
flies
vinegar.
with honey. If you say it nicely or kindly, you can then offer your partner an opportunity to win. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was so sleepy when I did that. Whatever it is, but it's less negative, if that's a word, than laying blame.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked a lot in the past about different kinds of communication styles. One is the nonviolent communication, where you talk about the impact that it has on you. I mean, the toilet seat, for example, it's really frustrating to go in the bathroom, I would imagine, as a woman, and sit down on the toilet seat and, fall in, get your butt wet. It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, you're half asleep. And that's actually going to wake up the whole house, because I know with her screaming, I can't even sleep through that. So, it's a good thing to try to work that out. Now, if I feel like I'm getting blamed every time I'm doing that, then I'm going to start to get frustrated, and I'm going to start to build up resentments. Whereas if she comes to me and says, look, let's make this a team effort to work on this, because here's what's going on for me and why it's so frustrating, and maybe we can work something out. And it doesn't mean that I always have to put the seat down. I mean, maybe there's something that we do that works out for the both of us, and whatever it is. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well, typically, I mean, in a scenario like that, if you have a second bathroom, maybe if that happens and he's just way too sleepy every time he gets up and uses the toilet, perhaps think about going into another bathroom that the toilet seat is always going to be down.
Yeah, and it's a negotiation. It's really being able to work with your partner in a way that is going to work for the two of you. But the real key to this, and I think a point that we're trying to make, is if you come at them from such a negative perspective, that's going to start to build up a wall. And the three things we've talked about so far are going to continuously build up these walls to the point where partners are not going to want to be together anymore. You're not going to want to interact with each other. And I've seen so many couples that when they do finally get divorced, they are so angry and bitter with each other. And I know that a large portion of it is a lot of these little build-up resentment kinds of things, that if they were able to sit back and say, wait a minute, let me work together as a partnership with this, and it may be that your partnership still won't work out. I mean, we go off in different directions, that happens. But is there a reason that you have to be so negative with each other? I don't think so.
I think if we can implore, is that right? Is that a word? Okay. If we can impart on you our wisdom. That's what I was looking for.
That's still a word.
I know. So the importance of kindness and leaning in to the bids for affection, intimacy, attention, and saying, rule of thumb, if there is a negative experience, then 5-to-1, that rule, look for things that are wins for your partner. Thank you so much, actually, for shoveling the driveway all of those times that you did in the 8, 10, 12 inches of snow. Look for ways to thank your partner, to be kind to your partner. Perhaps, have a warm bath running, or a hot shower, or warm the towels, or at least something hot to drink when coming in from that, heavy-duty grunge work. Also want to express that some people are more kind by nature than others. kindness is actually a muscle.
Wait a minute,
So-
I think I was slammed on that.
No, kindness is actually a muscle. So, if that's not something that's innate to you, it's just like any other muscle. If the more you practice and the more you exercise it, the more second nature it becomes. So you can teach an old dog new tricks.
I'm getting there.
No,
No,
he's a very
but there's-
kind person.
But that is true. There are things that I just take for granted. Like she does the laundry. I hate doing laundry, and she does it all the time, and I continuously forget to acknowledge her for that. And it's so simple. All I have to do is say, hey, thank you for taking care of the laundry, and you do it all the time, and just I appreciate that. And it's that simple. And I forget. So it's something that I need to work on for myself because I want to. And I think it'll help our relationship in the long term because those walls won't be built up over time because you won't have that resentment.
And so although it may seem like the most foreign thing, looking for ways to go out of your way for your partner to express words of kindness, acts of kindness, that really, really will be that solidifying glue and that bond that keeps you thriving for all the years to come. And we're not so naive as to say that we don't think other couples don't have difficulties, because obviously we have some, not obviously, but we're a very real couple. We have bumps in the road, we have hiccups too, just like every other normal partnership. But what we do is we really look to ways to be kind even if we are having like a squabble. I think that we do really well that, hey, this is how that lack of follow-through affected me, rather than blaming him or blaming me. This is what happens when you constantly interrupt me. I lose my train of thought, and then I have to backtrack, and I lose time for 10 or 15 minutes. So I really do actually ask I do this more than I ever did. I ask if it's a good time to talk, or I
She'll
will
raise her hand sometimes.
I do raise my
That's
hand.
pretty funny.
Or I'll say, can you let me know when a good time to talk is, so that I know I'm not interrupting. He can wrap up whatever he might be doing and not feel that urgent need to respond to me immediately and drop everything else. I think that that's worked really well for us in our relationship. So some of them might seem like simple tips. Some of them might seem like really difficult ones for some people in our audience. We don't know. But what we're asking is just give it a try every single day, so it isn't just we're nice to each other on our anniversary, which is coming up, by the way. Oh yeah, I might need to remind him.
Which one?
We also don't want to just be kind and loving or more loving on birthdays and, whatever other,
Anniversaries.
the Valentine's Day
Valentine's,
holiday. Treat your relationship as the top priority every single day. And you can do that even if you have kids, because that's an amazing model for your children to witness, because that's the way that they will then become. If you're the model, that's what they'll look for, and that's how they'll be in their future relationships. So you're not sacrificing anything. You're doing yourselves and everyone else in the family a really, really good service by paying attention to each other, being affectionate, being kind, and that 5-to-1 ratio. Make use of it as often as you can. So I'm just looking at the clock above us. We have 5 minutes to go in this power-packed, compact version of Naked Talk. And we do want to talk about a few things that we have planned for the upcoming months.
Yeah, we're really excited. We've got some really good things going on. One, we are continuing our Naked Talks, which we've done all last year. We're modifying our format a little bit, and we'll probably modify it again in the future. But we're
Let
so
us
excited
know
about
what you
that.
think.
Yeah, and what's really important to us is that we bring stuff that's valuable to you. So let us know what that could be. If there's a topic that you'd like to discuss, then shoot us a quick email, and we'll maybe include that as one of our next Naked Talks. But speaking of our next Naked Talk, it's going to be in a couple weeks, and we're going to be talking about fantasies, dreams,
and play.
and play.
So come join us then.
Yeah.
So we want to thank,
Well, wait, we've got more things to talk about.
Oh, sorry.
So we're starting to do MARC groups. If anybody has heard of these, they come from Lafayette Morehouse, and we've been certified to be able to facilitate these.
Trained. There's no certification. We've been trained to
Okay.
facilitate.
We've been trained to facilitate them. And it's really a powerful way to have an adult conversation with people. We're really excited about it. So we've already had one, and it's been a lot of fun. And we are going to start doing those around Colorado. So it's more of a local kind of thing, although we may be doing something online with that as well. Stay tuned. But some other local events, which would be really valuable for people even coming out of town, we've got Pamela Matson and Mac McGregor, who are going to be in town talking about
Beyond
50 Shades
of Sexy.
Yeah.
And that's actually April 10th.
April 9th, 10th, and 11th.
9th, 10th, 11th?
Uh-huh. The Friday night, Saturday, Sunday.
No, I think that's the Thursday. But you can check everything out at betevents.com. We are hoping to do a panel on, I believe it's Thursday the 9th. So the actual dates
Well, I may
of
work
the
up the
workshop are the 10th, Friday the 10th, 11th, and 12th of April. And there's so much information on what Mac and Pamela teach together that we don't want to waste this precious time, because I want Dan to talk about another event that's coming up.
And we'll probably also have Pamela and Mac
We will
or Mac
interview them.
on an interview for Naked Talk. Yeah.
Mhm. And then Kodoshka Level 1, we're going
That's one you wanted me
to,
to share?
yeah, I'm just going to talk about the title. So Kodoshka Level 1, oh, I'm on a roll, honey. Go ahead, you better grab it from me.
Oh, go ahead.
Kodoshka Level 1 is coming back, returning to Colorado at the end of April, beginning of May. Again, all details betevents.com.
So it's
But-
April 30th through May 3rd. That is a Thursday evening, all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And Kodoshka is a Native American tradition of spiritual and sacred sexuality. It's potent. They're amazing teachings. I loved them. There are 4 levels of Kodoshka. Each one builds on the other, and you can't do any of the other levels until you've gone through a Q1. So we have a lot of information on Kodoshka on our on our website. There's a link to register for both of the events to find out more, and there should be a link on there to the Kodoshka website itself. So check all of that out, and stay tuned for so much more.
Yeah, and if you haven't signed up for our newsletter already, please do so, because that's the best way to stay up to date on what it is that we have coming out and what we're offering. Things do change from time to time. We're adding classes and events and blah, blah, blah. All sorts of things are going on. The best way by far is the newsletter that we send out. And that's a once-a-month thing, which we include a tip, and then all of our calendar of activities and things are coming up.
So that about wraps up tonight's Naked Talk. We want to thank you for being a part of this power-packed half hour. We want to thank our sponsor, Tantra Dakini, the online resource for materials relating to spiritual and sacred sexuality. They can be found at tantradakini.org. Thank you. We wish you the best of 2015. There's so much to come, and may all of your love and relationships thrive.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.